Well, hello friends, welcome back to my channel, and today I will be doing some more work in my kitchen, so welcome to my kitchen. Today I will show you how I prepare and how I cook my curry chicken. So in this pan I already have some chicken prepared. It's a chicken legs that has been cleaned and cut up. Now I'm gonna show you how I season my curry chicken. Alright, first I'll put some seasoning salt, and I like Lorry. One of the reasons, because it has no MSG. I try to avoid MSG at all cost. Sometimes I use a little cayenne pepper, or cayenne pepper, however you pronounce it. I sprinkle a little garlic powder because I do use fresh garlic also, but for some reason I like to use both. I sprinkle some soy sauce. Some allspice, a little allspice powder, because I did not season this ahead of time. Usually I would season it overnight and let it marinate, but I did not do this last night. So today I'll be using a little bit more powder seasoning than I normally do, along with the fresh seasoning, because I didn't allow it to marinate overnight and I want to get the taste. This is adobo, but I don't need the adobo because it's a seasoning salt, just like the Lorry's. And then I rub my seasonings in. And I usually do one at a time. I forgot to take out my jerk marinade. I mean not my jerk marinade, I should say, my, what do I call this? My own homemade meat marinade. And this marinade has a lot of natural seasonings in it. And I usually use about 2 or so, depending on the amount of chicken, 2 or so heaping tablespoon. Now when I'm seasoning, I usually put a little of the Lorry's first, and I'll put a second round of Lorry. Not too much, because I do not like my food salty. And let's see, I'll put a little bit more of the cayenne pepper, because curry tastes good with cayenne pepper, and I mix it in. I'll put some of the onions. This is green and red peppers. And I mix them in. A little bit of the fresh garlic. And mix that in. And for sure I want a little bit more of the allspice. Now some people call it green seasoning, but in my meat marinade seasoning here that I make at home, it has a number of things in there. It has red, green, yellow peppers, it has onions, it has quite a few of the things in here, garlic, all of that goodness. And usually if I prepare my things overnight, I would just use that and my seasoning salt, a little soy sauce, but because I did not do it overnight, I am putting a little bit extra powdered seasoning, a little more cayenne pepper and garlic powder, but I still won't use too much because this has a lot of the natural seasonings in it. And one day I'll show you how I made that. Alright, now that I've done that, I will let it sit for a while, and then I will show you how I go about doing my curry. So we're now going to start the cooking process of the chicken I just marinated. I'll put the temperature to medium heat on my stove, and then I'm going to put some avocado oil in my pan. I'm just finishing up this bottle, and the reason why I like to use avocado oil, it's healthy, it's good fat, but not only that, it has a high heat cooking content, so it cooks at, it can cook up to a certain high temperature above 450, and it does not change the oil to anything toxic to the body. So that's why I like to cook with avocado oil. Now I'm going to raise the temperature a little bit higher so it heats a little quicker. In the back I have some rice that I'm cooking, and so I'm going to switch this over. I'm going to switch this over to the back stove so it gives the rice a little distance from direct heat. I'll turn down my stove now for it to take its time to cook, and put it at low so it can continue steaming and get fully cooked. Now I'm waiting for the oil to be a little bit hot. Now once I see that it's hot, I will turn down my stove to medium heat, and this is where I put my curry. So yes, I will put my curry in the pan. It already has a spoon. I forgot it was in there. This is about a teaspoon, the spoon that I keep in the curry. So I'm gonna put a heaping teaspoon. I sprinkle it over the pan, because I'm not cooking that much chicken. I think I might be cooking like maybe 3 pounds of chicken, 2.5 pounds of chicken, somewhere there. I really didn't check the amount of chicken. And I put it in the curry. I'm going to turn this back up, and I'm going to wait for the curry to brown. Put that down. Now the curry I'm using is from my country, Jamaica. It's called Better Pack Curry. For me, that's one of the better curries to use, and it's available here in the United States of America. So I just mix it up in the oil and let it turn a little bit browner, and then I add my chicken. So I'm just waiting. I see it's starting to fizz, and I keep stirring it because I don't want it to burn. I want it to brown, and this gives our chicken that nice color and the flavor. Now here's my chicken that I previously marinated. Some people put the curry on the chicken while it's being soaking in the marinade, but I don't. I just put it in the oil, brown the curry, and then I put my chicken in there. I don't separate the seasonings. I just put everything in there and allow it to do its thing. But you know, us Jamaicans, we all do things differently when we are making curry chicken. I get a little bit of water, just to get the excess seasoning from the pan, and I swirl it around. So I put a little bit of water in the pan just to get the excess seasoning, and then I pour that over the chicken and allow it to cook. I mixed the chicken up in the pan while it's cooking, and now I have it on high because all the meat is in there, and I mix it up. Oops, piece fell on the floor. I'll grab that later. Mix it up. And I allow the chicken to come up to heat, so let it start bubbling. And then at that point, I will evaluate if I have enough curry. Because the thing about curry is, if you put too much, it can make your meat bitter. So I rather start off with less, and as the cooking process starts, I evaluate the situation of how much curry or how yellow my meat looks, and then I add more. And then I cover my pot. So I'm going to leave it a little bit on, it's like a medium high, and then I watch what's going on, and then I assess the situation of how well it's cooking, and I add my other seasonings, and then it will cook down. As I said, everybody does their thing differently. Everybody does things differently when cooking, but this is the way I do it, and I have never failed. Everybody loves my curry. So I'm gonna let it start its cooking a little bit, and then at that point I will come and I'll add everything else, cover the pot, and allow it to simmer. Now friends, you can see the chicken has started boiling up nicely, and the color looks pretty rich to me. I don't think I'll add any more curry to it. It smells good, and I'm pretty sure it will taste good once it's done, and the color looks beautiful. I'm gonna add some all-purpose seasoning seeds into whole seeds, they're not ground up, into my curry. I will add some thyme, and this thyme I bought fresh. I washed it and I put it in to dry. Here I will add some fresh onions, some red peppers, green peppers, and it just makes the pot look pretty. Even after it's finished cooking, you will see the color for some of it. So I add all of that, and then I'm gonna add some garlic and some crushed hot peppers. Now this pepper I grew in my garden. I will not burst this pepper because I already have one cut up, because I do not want to make it too spicy. I like spicy, but not too spicy. So I will put that in here, and I'll give it a good stir. And I'll make all this goodness cook down and simmer down into a nice curry dish. And as you can see, we cook with the bones in, because the bones flavors the meat. Let me turn on back the light. So now you can see the curry. I'm so sorry, I forgot to turn back on my ring light. But so you can see the curry, it's really yellow on the chicken. So I decided I was not going to put any more. And not only is it nicely colored, I'm pretty sure it will taste fantastic. So the color is good, the smell is good. The kitchen really smells full of aroma. Now I'm also going to put some green onions, and that I'll put in here. So I've just added all the fresh seasonings and whatever else I choose to add at this point. And then I'm gonna close my pan. Let me stir it one more time. It has enough water. I'm gonna close my pan and I'll let this simmer down. Simmer down until it's cooked, and then I'll come back and check it, and at that point I'm gonna cover it up and leave it to cook. I have it still on medium high, and I let it simmer. There we go, last look, and then I'm gonna cover it. It will start boiling up even more, and before you know it, our curry chicken will be ready to be served. So here we go, it's bubbling, guys. It is bubbling up. It's cooking really well. It's coming down. Seasonings are taken in. And it's cooking down nicely. Now you see that right now it has a lot of water, but by the time it's done cooking, you'll see a lot of this water dissipate. And it's cooking down nicely. Now some people add carrots to their curry chicken. Some add Irish potato, or potatoes as they call them here, for it to cook with it. And sometimes I will add Irish potatoes. I don't really use carrots in my curry chicken because sometimes it gives it a sweet flavor, and I rather it not be sweet. I want it to have all the nice savory, juicy taste. So I don't put carrots in there, but I do sometimes put not curry, I meant potatoes. Today, some days I put it, some days I don't, because right now we're kind of trying to watch what we eat. So I won't add any more starch, because we're gonna now have it with white steamed jasmine rice. And in this pot I made roughly 4 cups of rice. And with the jasmine rice, you have to be careful. I do not use a rice cooker. I have one, but I often do it on stove freehand. So here I've cooked 4 cups of jasmine rice. So for each cup, I add 1.5 cups of water. I put salt to taste, and I even put a little butter in there to melt. It melts in the water to cook in the rice to give it some flavor. So that's my rice, guys. Here it is. That's my rice. And often in Jamaica we eat curry chicken with white rice, and in my household we eat it with white rice. Some people eat it with rice and peas, but it's often eaten with white rice. And then we will serve it with a vegetable at choice. So we have a protein, a starch, and vegetables. Now I'm gonna cover back this pot and allow it to do its thing. There you go, guys, it's bubbling. It's almost done. All this goodness is well flavored and it's cooking down nicely. In about another, say 10 to 15 minutes, it will be complete, and you will see this lovely, tasty curry chicken. Now guys, when I was preparing this chicken, I got the whole chicken leg. I did cut some of the fat off the leg. I would say 3/4 of the fat off the leg. And then I left about 1/4 on each leg, because the fat from the chicken also flavors the chicken. Now this is organic chicken I'm using, so it doesn't have, all that hormone and all the bad things for you. But I did leave a little bit of the fat on there, because that gives the chicken a great taste. And a little fat is also good for you, for your brain, because your brain is consistent of mostly fat with neurons running through it. So this little fat on here will not hurt. Most times when I'm cooking my chicken dishes, I do take off all the fat, and here I only use a little avocado oil to, you know, brown the curry. So yes, this is the process, my friends. Now in a few minutes I will be taking it off the stove and you will see our lovely curry chicken. Well friends, this is almost the end of this curry chicken that I'm making. This lovely, oh, you should smell the aroma, it's lovely. It's coming to the end. Some people like it with a lot of gravy. Some will, you know, let some of the gravy evaporate. I'm gonna let it cook down a little bit more and then I'm gonna turn it off, because curry tastes great with gravy. And the gravy is coming directly from the pot. You can see the gravy has been thickening now because it has been cooking for a little bit. So the gravy is a lot thicker. And we're coming towards the end of this lovely dish. Cooking this lovely dish. Now, as I said before, I'm not sure if I said it or not, but these are the black things, seeds floating on the top, is the allspice. It gives it a lovely flavor. And look at this curry chicken. Isn't that beautiful? And I am positive it tastes delicious. All right, so now I'm gonna turn off my flame, and I am gonna cover my pot, and I'm gonna move it to another burner. I'm gonna saute some vegetables that I will be putting with my meal today, and I'm gonna. Here I have some chopped garlic, and here I have some peppers chopped, some green onions, and some onions. And look at the colors, you're gonna see it's lovely. And the vegetables I'm gonna saute with this is some zucchini and yellow squash. So I'm gonna put these in here and I'm gonna allow them to saute for a little bit. So it's half cooked, because you don't want to put the zucchini in right away, because the zucchini, you know, those two squashes, the zucchini and the yellow squash, they cook pretty fast, and I do not want them to turn into mush. So I always half cook the onions and the vegetables, saute them first, you know, my green onions and green peppers and so forth and so on. I saute them first, let them get half cooked, and I use a lot of garlic, because garlic has a lot of beneficial medicinal benefits, and it makes a great flavor to your food. On the side here, I am cutting up some peppers. I forgot to prepare that earlier. I will show you in a minute. So one of them I will chop up finely, and the other I will leave whole, because I do not like things too hot to taste. To the taste. This is my zucchini. There is my peppers. And this pepper that I have grown in my yard previously. And this time I'm using a green one. It doesn't matter, they flavor pretty well. Green or ripe. Very tasty, not super hot, but spicy enough for you to taste it. And I'm going to saute everything together. I'm sauteing it in a little extra virgin olive oil. I will not let the temperature go too hot. And I'm going to wait until they become somewhat supple or super, so that the onions will look translucent. And I'm going to let them. Now I kind of rough chopped it, but I don't like it to be coarsely chopped. I like them to have somewhat of a smaller size, you know, not too small, but you can actually dice it. And by me sauteing it, it is allowing some of the flavors to come out of the peppers and the onions and the garlic and the pepper. And then I'm gonna pour my vegetables in and saute them for a little bit, and you will see the benefit. I mean, the after product. Of course, vegetables have great benefit. It's good for you. And actually, we should always try to have at least a half a plate of vegetables, a quarter of meat, and a quarter of starch. Oh, look at the curry. Oh, it looks so good. While that is cooking, let me show you the curry. That's lovely. Look at this. Oh, so tasty. I can't wait to have some. And the rice. I just fluffed the rice. Beautiful. And there is my vegetables becoming as translucent as possible. Cooking them, because if I put the zucchini squash and the yellow squash in at the same time with the vegetables, they will cook before the vegetables, and then they'll be mushy. And who likes mushy vegetables? So these are almost half done. Give it a little bit more time, and then I'll pour the vegetables in. And we are almost towards the end of this cooking session, and it will be time for dinner, Sunday dinner. Alright, so now I'm going to put some of these in. I'm going to put out quite a bit. Actually, I'll pour the whole thing. I'm going to mix it around, but first I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of Lorry seasoning. You can use any seasoning salt of your choice. Just enough, not to make it salty, just to flavor it a little bit. Because I do not like plain tasting vegetables. You can add a little bit of seasoning, make your vegetables taste lovely. A little bit more. And this, guys, I'm sprinkling it on, so there's not a lot going on it at all. And that's it. And look at all these colors. And that's why I like to use all the different colors of peppers while cooking my vegetables and in my meats. It just makes it look beautiful. Alright, I'm going to leave it on here for a little bit, and I'm going to stir from time to time, and before you know it, it is cooked. And dinner will be ready. I will put a little bit of black pepper on here also. And I stir often so that the bottom doesn't cook and the top stays uncooked. I want them to have even cooking. Yes, so now the squash is done. and as I said, we don't want it to be overcooked, so I've turned off the flames, and now it's not overly done. It's nicely sauteed and is very tasty.